Welcome back, everybody. We were just talking about the games. Why transfer games? Why go from WoW to Age of Conan? Why do it?
Why ask why Bud Dry?
We're talking about a few different angles here, really. And to me, personally, I don't know about VNR over here, I like to be able to get into a game. I like to be able to gain recognition for myself. One of the greatest moments for me was loading into Shadowbane and seeing that my tree had over 1,000 real true members.
Yeah,
I mean, we're not
love
talking
that.
about a 150-person guild here. We're talking about 1,000 real-life players
That was
in
Zerg
my
Central.
city, in my town, and yeah, Xerxes. Bring up Xerxes.
I was there in that time.
Seriously. It wasn't alts because we're talking like 7 days.
I mean,
into
it was
game.
so Zergy. If you typed in epitome in dictionary.com, it'd come up with C Zerg.
Yeah, and it would come up with it would come up with Las Vegas high rollers, on Fear Server.
Oh yeah,
I mean those were awesome days.
They were.
Now, people play for recognition, and I think a big problem is right now, Age of Conan's releasing. Why should a person with a big, great, and beautiful name in the game of WoW leave that character behind and then go and start a new one and try to regain their reputation? And we've been talking about it from a few different angles, but to me that's kind of huge. I mean, why start over unless you want more content, you want a better game, you want just a better experience?
Boredom.
True.
I think that's a big thing. Like, they're tired of seeing the same stuff over and over and over again, like I was 4 times. I think a lot of people are going to try out this game.
Has a lot of the same.
But it's a whole
we
different
saw that they have
different
instance
music.
PvP also, where you go and you play Capture the Flag and shit.
Copycat.
I'd rather
I
just play
hate that.
Team Fortress 2, dude, where I already know this. I've got the skills. I own it up.
And you
it's
can
fun.
quit any time without having to worry about
and you
how...
just drop.
Yeah.
You just... when mom yells down to you in the basement, Vince, she's like, "Get your ass up here, boy!
Which
I
she
need to beat
does
some
every night.
ass." You just boom, drop your mouse, and you're done.
Yep. No, exactly. And that's the thing. It's like in a game like Team Fortress 2 or an FPS, you don't have to worry about leveling your guy up like you would this. I didn't know they had the instancing in AOC. That's disgusting.
Oh yeah, you didn't see the video we saw last week.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
they've got. I remember 2 forms of PvP. There's basic world PvP, which I believe is limited, and I believe it's limited to kind of a ring, which would be the Borderlands, where you fight for keeps and
It's like a
resources and
zone.
stuff.
It's a zone.
Yeah, and I believe though that's kind of ringed around the entire Hyboria or whatever the main.
Kind of like the Outlands, maybe.
I
or
think it'll be fun for a little
outer
bit.
ring, outer
going-
sector.
But I'm
Yeah,
not saying
going
that to be
from-
a fact. That's just what I kind of have concluded after hearing. But I just want to say, Vince,
Right.
is that they definitely have. Now, here's the deal: you can queue up to instance PvP. Like, think of Arathi Basin. You can queue.
gosh.
You can queue up to that while you're out grinding mobs, though.
Seriously,
And as
they
soon
have
as there's
flags in this game too.
Yeah.
Flag carrying.
just like WoW.
Just
But
like
the
WoW,
only cool
yeah.
thing is if you have instance PvP, you can jump in at any point in the world, any point. That's cool. But what's uncool?
But you can in WoW too.
No, you can
No.
queue yourself. You can tag yourself to be queued for people.
Yeah.
Like, say you're out in the middle of nowhere and you're grinding, and all of a sudden you feel like a little PvP.
I see.
You can
Okay.
queue yourself up
Cool,
right there.
cool.
So you don't
Okay.
know. You don't need to go see a battle master or
Right.
whatever.
Still though, I mean,
No,
yeah.
I'm so sick of instance PvP. I mean, it's cool, but it's not that cool. Especially WoW really played it out, and that's great for WoW. But when we're talking about taking players from a dominant game, you're just giving them more of the same with a different kind of a
Can't
spin.
do that.
Look at Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings was, I'll just go ahead and say a WoW clone. And WoW's an EQ clone, but made way better.
Yeah.
now,
Now, I'll be honest, Lord of the Rings, even in beta, I had a good time playing it, but only for a month. And that's, I mean, because there's no PvP.
Yeah.
But only for a month, but still, and that's what my big point is here. People are going to get away from WoW to play a whole new game, a fresh new game that's kind of cool. New graphics, new art, new.
And what if the content
everything.
is lacking? What if the dungeons
If it's
are
lagging,
shallow?
those guys will be
the
gone in a
loot section.
second.
What if crafting, which I know is not a cornerstone of WoW,
But even
it's involved in such a way that it's okay.
We're talking
But
about
what
the
if
Viagra
crafting-
syndrome again. We're
Yeah.
talking
Even
seriously, if
PvPers
Conan-
love seeing new content, and
If,
that's
if
what it comes
Conan
down to. I speak from
releases
experience.
with a bang, it's got to have the staying power.
Yeah.
It's got to have
Yes.
it. It's got to be able to stay with
And it's
the
got to not be
players.
laggy. It's not got to not have back end bugs.
Right.
In Vanguard.
And people can stand that for a couple weeks in the beginning, but my gosh, fix your hardware quick.
Right, and I already hear that there's already a huge class balance. Like healers don't heal enough, and barbarians kick too much butt. You know
Okay,
what?
there you go.
All of this balancing is going to take them so
8
long
months.
to figure out.
I predict now. Paul
Exactly,
predicts 8
and
months.
that's why I predict that all these guys are going to be coming back to WoW for Wrath of the Lich King to get to 80, to have a whole new island, whole new content, everything.
And they could easily dump Conan. If
Oh,
Conan's not
so you're
careful.
saying Conan's just going to be a filler for the next
I
year or
honestly
so.
believe from the people I've talked to. I mean, I don't know the ins and outs of Conan. I did see a lot of videos. I did read a lot about the hype, but I think it's hype, kind of like I hyped RYL. That's I'm going back to RYL Forentis kind of thing.
Yeah.
Forentis was a crappy game. Even after RYL, I'm like, dudes, you got to play this game to my other buddies just to make them play with me. But really, it was like playing Lineage 2. It was or Lineage 1 even. It was horrible. But I think that's
there's
what's going to
several-
happen here in AOC.
Yeah, and I agree with you.
Yeah.
Unless they do an excellent job of keeping those players intact, and really,
Age of Conan has
they would
nudity.
have to balance
That's a
it
good
quickly.
thing.
They would have to balance the game very quickly. They'd have to make people happy in a short amount of time. So
Yeah.
they have a very large task ahead of them, in my opinion.
That's true. That's very,
Hear
very
that
true.
silence? That's what Age of Conan's going to be like in a few months.
Well, people are going to,
Population,
you know what,
you
no
know.
matter what, people are going to start bouncing back and forth when Lich King
They're,
releases.
they're totally going to be.
Well, we're looking at, up to almost 10 million players in WoW at one given period.
Okay,
Go ahead.
have you guys read anything about beta players talking about dungeon content and stuff
No.
like that?
PvE, no, not much
Okay, because
PvE.
PvE is
Is 8 of the 10 million in WoW.
right. And
Yeah.
okay, Vanguard. I play on PvP server, and basically you can kill. It came to the point where you can kill anybody, anywhere. And I think you even got maybe 10% of the coin they had on their person.
Oh, I like that a
That's
lot.
good.
And you know what? And PvP was not rampant, by the way. It happened, but it wasn't. Everybody was not killing each other, which I was surprised about. And Bob was telling me, Ed's son, he was telling me that it's going to be okay, because I was thinking, geez, I'm used to this team based,
Right.
and then they went free for all,
Well,
and actually turned out okay.
For our listeners, we may sound heavily PvP, and I'll tell you why. We live for PvP. We love killing people. So
No.
if we have a twist on what we're talking about in the PvP, favor, that's fine. If you like PvE, that's great too. But we play for PvP for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I at least play for the option 2 and the thrill of being
Oh, yeah.
attacked. I'm not the greatest.
That's why I wake
go
up in the
kill
morning.
and conquer people. When Darkfall comes out and I run past a dude that I can fully loot,
Uh-huh.
I'm not going to attack him. I just don't play that way. Now, if I know he's a dill, then I will. If I see this guy, some dude that runs around in green armor and has this,
Right.
and then I think in Darkfall, if you actually click on them, then you'll see this little name display down, not over their head. It'll be in some sort of bar down below, where not with his stats, not with his health, but with whatever comes up when this bar does. So it'll say, Lancelot.
Yeah.
For example.
Lancelot.
So, and you might have to also.
Whoever's Lancelot, change
I
your
think
name.
you'll also have to probably be a certain range. So you
Either
can't be
that
like
or
100 yards
Legolas.
away and click on people. But if you actually click on them and they're close range that I'm aware of, you'll be able to read their name. What is that high pitched sound?
Not hearing it.
Oh, Andrew. Andrew.
Producer
Okay,
Andrew's
no, that's just
casting a
my
little
ears.
interference.
Okay, so anyway, so that's how I behave. I basically will not go ahead. I won't kill everybody that I run across. That's just not
Yeah.
me.
I
What do you
enjoy-
do? What will you do? What will you do?
No.
Okay, well, here's the thing. I just want to
pick
say
on
I
fair
enjoy
targets. I
but I
pick on
also
fair
enjoy
targets.
the whole PvP thing and the PvP thing at the same time. So, as in world PvP, you get to PvE and enjoy the content. At the same time, you see people enjoying the same content you are. You might not want them to enjoy that content, then you can take them out. And that's the beauty of
Wait,
world
wait,
PvP.
PvE. Yeah.
But that's the beauty of world PvP, right?
Yeah.
You're PvEing and enjoying the content while you're taking a break from saying.
Oh no, I remember in
hardcore
Dark Age
PvP.
of Camelot, I was down in this werewolf
Loved it.
valley.
Yeah.
Okay, and the werewolves would just stand there.
Yeah, I think
and you
we were
shoot him
farming
and
them
you
together.
pull. Yeah.
Yep.